think the one main thing that I got out of dirt biking was confidence. I think growing up I was a little underconfident. I was always a little bit shy growing up. And dirt biking gave me the confidence I needed to kind of get through that. And that just showed me that I can do that in other aspects of my life, like for instance, firefighting. I knew nothing about it, but these riders and these people gave me the confidence that I can do this, that I can learn how to do this. I can be this person, I just have to be willing to put the work in. Throughout the years of racing, as I got a little bit older, I started thinking more about a career, but all I'd ever known was this power sports industry. Unfortunately, with the sport and the injuries, I've seen a lot of bad injuries. I've been pretty badly injured myself, and it made me want to know what to do when someone's injured. Eventually, I was at the track once where a rider unfortunately had an injury. And another rider came up, and I witnessed this rider basically do what I wish I could have done. The way that they were able to calm the injured person down and speak to them and kind of get on their level and kind of assure them of their training. And this particular person said, "Hey, I'm a firefighter," and introduced themselves. And I just love the professionalism and the way that this particular firefighter rider was able to help out. And I thought, wow, like, what do I have to do to become like that? So just from riding and meeting more and more firefighters, I learned more about it. And then eventually one of these firefighter riders said to me, like, well, why don't you try to do this? And at the time I thought, oh, like I'm not that guy. But, you know, I was really lucky to have these couple firefighters kind of mentor me and really convinced me that I could do this job, because I've always wanted to help people. I've always wanted to, you know, give back for the opportunities that were given to me, but I never considered that I could do that as a full-time career. And I was lucky enough to get hired eventually, and now I'm at the fire halls often talking with other riders, which is so cool that I've kind of made it there on that other side. And I know for me, like, the main reason the firefighting industry kind of caught my eye was those medical skills and the way that these firefighters were able to carry themselves and talk to these injured riders. And I just love that I can do that now today, that I was able to go that far and become that kind of person, so that, you know, maybe somebody else will see the same thing in me and try to pursue that career.
So this is a new clutch for Brock Kelly's 22 YZF 450 that we're putting together. So just going over everything, making sure everything fits properly.
MX Garage just slowly developed kind of by accident. Eventually all of my friend group was all riders. So, you know, we would often be hanging out on evenings, working on our bikes together. And I think I enjoyed working on the bikes a little bit more than the average person. So yeah, I, you know, started kind of helping my friends out with basic, like, tire changes. And I would say I learned how to change tires by changing my friends' rims, I guess. And that was a whole nother part of the sport that I liked, is that we could hang out in a garage after and work on our bikes. And it was just awesome, you know, being able to kind of have just as much fun in the garage with these bikes, you know, solving problems with my friends as opposed to just riding all the time. But eventually it got to the point where a big group of people were kind of relying on me a lot, and I was starting to struggle with the time to help all my friends out, plus work on my own bikes and keep them going. And finally somebody said to me one day, like, you know, like, you're working a lot for free, kind of thing. But it didn't feel like that for me, because it wasn't work to me. It was me having fun with my friends. So that kind of started this business kind of thing starting to take off of, okay, hey, there's a little bit of a market, and if I can make a couple extra bucks to, you know, put some fuel in my truck to get to the races, great. Like, that's all I wanted it to be. I never envisioned that it would turn into, I guess, what it is today.
Good morning, race fans.
So Brock's just getting ready just to go out for his first practice here at Go for Dunes. Just spent the last 5 minutes kind of getting the bike dialed, getting the sag all set up. It's a pretty cool program he's got with, working with his father and then his girlfriend here. They work well together.
And it's a clean start. This is the expert class racing now at the Go for Dunes National Championship. Number 69, Brock Kelly, sponsored by MX Garage, is looking good.
I always had this envision when I was racing that I wanted to be a sponsored rider. And I mean, it wasn't about money or anything, but I just wanted to be able to say that, like, yeah, like this guy gives me stickers or whatever. I have some sort of support and being recognized. And that really didn't ever happen for me. But I knew what it meant to me at the time. And once my business started to kind of take off and do its own thing, I thought, wow, like, I have the opportunity to do what I wish someone would have done for me.
So how did you feel out there, Brock?
The suspension felt a little bit off. I wouldn't mind to...
When I first started my business, Brock actually worked for me at the time too. So that was always funny because, I was teaching him, how to work on bikes and how to maintain them and stuff like that. And then we would be going and racing against each other, later on in the evening or on the weekends and stuff. I like that it's more than just investing in just a rider and looking for results, and it's more about, helping them out to see where they're going to end up or see what or who they become down the road kind of thing. And that's like Brock is a perfect example of that.
And that's almost it, folks. Another great evening of motocross racing.
I really think that overall, that motocross gave me the motivation that I needed to pursue many different goals in life, and really being able to put my head down and work, and understanding that, being unsuccessful and failing or coming up short are just part of learning and transitioning in life and trying to get yourself to where you want to go. The biggest thing is just being hardworking and having an open mind, and, just trying to overcome that fear of failure and understand that you have to learn what you don't know how to do before you can do it, before you can get there. So for me, yeah, I would say just confidence throughout life is really what motocross has been able to provide me with. And I think it's something that I've carried on into firefighting. It's allowed me to kind of get through the hurdle of finding where I fit in a career. And I'm hoping that it continues to do that for the future. I think the biggest lesson really for this sport is just understanding that the average person is capable of, I think, much more than they really think they are. But sometimes you just need that confidence boost from somewhere. And I think overall that is probably the biggest impact that the sport has had on me moving forward in my life.